If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 here and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
All right, merch, indeed. Y'all shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear
Listener.
All right, guys, here we go. Disembodied, Tyrant, and Synestia. Let's bring you out here. We're gonna get blocked. Are those triggers, or is it an actual drummer?
It's right up your alley.
Hard.
epic. Was that the official lyric video?
You
That
know,
was really well done.
a lot of times these bands, they try to go like outside of something you haven't heard before, try to do something different. And
They all sound the same and they're different?
No, they don't sound the same. I mean, a lot of times, like, they do it and they just fall flat on their face. And this was not one of those times!
That violin that was in there?
This song was incredible! This was one of those ones I was about to rewind, but I didn't want you to yell at me or whatever.
Why do you keep saying that, you weirdo?
Yeah, because the last time I did it,
No, it is not the last time you did it. That's when I used to edit these parts. I don't have to edit them anymore, so you can friggin' rewind it as many times as you want.
This song,
dear listener,
was incredible. Incredible song. Incredibly complex on the guitar, but still chuggy.
And the violin was aggressive.
It was in about 4 or 5 movements. I mean, it was just absolutely incredible. It was an incredible, and then, you know, like I said, it was in 4 movements. I'm assuming it was, I think the Edda is a some sort of pagan epic poem, right?
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's Norwegian or what, but I think it's isn't it talking about the war? Help me out here. Does it talk about the wars of the gods? Because isn't there supposed to be a big war with
I mean, I got war out of it. War of the
Loki and
gods.
them
Yeah,
boys?
you're
Who was it?
probably
Thor,
right.
Thor and all them
Yeah,
boys.
that's
like
right.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, that's right. They do. They're supposed to.
Like they're all supposed to fight and die.
Yeah, maybe that is what it is about.
That's what Stephen DeYoung was like. Where Ball tells this story about how there's a war in heaven, and then he ended up as a lord of the underworld because he totally won. He's like, I totally won. I just decided to rule the underworld.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and you're just gonna hang out there. Why?
That's one of my favorite things that he does.
Was funny. Yeah,
because Baal, you know, it was like one of the main like contenders against Yahweh in the Old Testament, and so the way the Old Testament story tells it is that there is this an attempt at usurpation. And the usurper then gets cast down and sent basically to the underworld. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so that's the biblical, you know, theme of it. But Baal and his worshippers, they were like, yeah, there was a giant war in heaven because Baal wanted to, like, you know, strut his stuff. And yeah, he ended up in the underworld because he totally chose to go to the underworld. But he's ruling it. He totally chose to go to the underworld. Like the way he said, hold on.
Yeah, the way he said it was funny. Because it was like, obviously, I mean, the biblical account makes a lot more sense in that regard.
Yeah, it explained why he went to the underworld. You know? It's
and
like,
why he's staying there.
Yeah, it's like in the hood when dudes take your chain. It's like, I was going to give that chain anyway. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got it for him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Nah, nigga, they took his shit. You didn't have
they really say that? You're not joking?
Yeah, of course.
What?
Yeah, if they catch you slipping, you got nothing on you. You got none of your people with you. Yeah, they gonna snatch your shit for sure.
Yeah, but I wouldn't imagine somebody would say, "Well, I was gonna give it anyway."
Dudes are either gonna come back at you, which what happened to Ed.
Mm-hmm.
He took the dude's jacket. Dude said, "Ah, you got it," and then they turned around. And they just wheeled around and boom, 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 boom. Ed and cheese in them. But if you weren't really like that and they took your chain, you can be like, yeah, man, he needed more than me or whatever. Yeah,
my cousins used to say that when their team would lose at football. Well, we got to give them something, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Sunset before plague and pestilence, growing their tongues with nails and teeth, anguish and vindication for their fate.
Gnawing their tongues.
Beneath a blackened sky, legions of ice and decay gather and march forth from Everfrost, rising from the depths. The dead shall soon
roam the earth.
Roam the earth.
I abide by the chaos we uphold. I execute thy will on the liege.
Thy liege.
In other words, execute your will on the people that are there.
Well, thy liege, that's usually your leader. So again, it looks like he's trying to overthrow. He's trying to usurp the authority of his liege, which is part of the Baal motif in the Canaanite story, because they were. I think that the main god there was Enlil, Enlil.
You're talking about the altars? Which situation are you talking about?
I'm talking about in the Canaanite deity mythology, and Enlil was the main god, but Baal wanted his dad El to be the leader.
Main guy.
So he went off and attacked Enlil, and then again Baal ends up in the underworld because he totally won or whatever. I abide by the chaos we uphold. Execute thy will on thy liege. I don't know what this is. Again, is this the... help me out with this Middle and the rest of them. Which group is this? I think it's Thor and the Ragnarok people, but I'm not sure.
Watchmen of the Gods.
Go forth. Sound your horn. So there's somebody like watches over the gods. So we got a little bit of a henotheist situation here. The final, so henotheism is the idea that there's a council of gods, lowercase g, but then there is a capital G God that rules over all of them. So there's a watchman of the gods. Presumably this particular watchman is above the gods, otherwise he couldn't be the watchman. The final sun to rise before the death foretold. Beyond the walls of this fortress, beyond the chaos shield, the twilight of the gods awaits. Again, twilight of the gods, I think, is a Norwegian sort of thing for Ragnarok, because all the gods die in Ragnarok.
Oh, right. Wait, so they're all supposed to what's the actual ultimate ending?
I think they all die. I think Valhalla is where you wait before you go fight at Ragnarok. So Valhalla is not like heaven. It's like you get to fight, and then you get to party at night, and then you get to fight in the day and party at night, and then Ragnarok comes, and then you fight, and everybody dies in a big conflagration. That's my understanding. I'm not sure, but that's
and then nothing exists after that?
I don't know.
Or is it complete annihilation? You don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, those are not the ultimate gods. See, I just think that story is them knowing that they have a shelf life because they're not God with a capital G. Thor and all the rest of them boys work for our God.
Yeah.
So they know their day is coming. And you even see that in the Bible. It's like, have you come to punish us before the time?
Yeah, before it's time.
I mean, you got to imagine, like, all the main players that Jesus interacted with at the demonic level must have been, like, somebody. Like, I doubt very highly, like, the son of the council is coming down here. Let's send the lowest level demons. So I think Thor, Loki, all them boys were out there.
Oh, wow.
I think they were all out there.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And I think Jesus was spiking a football and trolling niggas like you would not believe. Sorry, Norwegians. It has arrived. The skies will weep with blood. Again, I think this is Ragnarok. The final stage of mankind are now at hand. We shall meet at the fields of warfare, where claw will clash against steel. Open the gates, unleash what lies within. Beyond the underworld, he awaits our call. There it is again, the underworld. He awaits our call because he's totally ruling the underworld. My boy, if you're the ruler, just think this through with me for a second, cosmologically speaking. You're in the underworld. That means that you're beneath the feet of everyone. So that's a biblical understanding of, like, the underworld. It's like literally being there by definition is humiliation. Just by definition. And that's why, like, when Bush was giving a speech in Iraq, the people took the shoe and threw it at him. Because in the Eastern idea, your shoe, that's literally as low as you can go, because that's what made contact with the ground. So when God tells a serpent, you're going to lick the dust, it's an ancient Near Eastern person would have heard that as a massively insulting, terrible thing. So to put your kingdom underneath the dust is like, you know, in a biblical world, complete and total.
I always wondered if it had anything to do with
also,
you know, it says that we're made of dust, and to dust we shall return.
Yeah.
So, was there any connection between eating the dust and?
Well, the idea is that he would be consuming Adam, right? Because, but the problem, so that establishes the enmity part between the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent. But the fact that he has to do that from a state of humiliation is the problem, because he always wanted to destroy man. Yeah. But now the only way that he can do that is by accepting this very, very low position. He's a prideful person, and so that's all there to just basically troll the devil and make him feel bad about himself. Bush did do a good job of avoiding the shoe, though. He did. You know how like when you're training and shit, and they'll do those slip drills. He just whoop.
He did.
And he just kept it. He kept it going. I mean, keep in mind, like, I can say it now. I mean, his dad killed Kennedy. I mean, there were some gangsters.
Yeah.
There were some. I mean, I can say it now. There are some gangsters out there.
The other thing too is throwing the shoe at him probably wasn't as insulting to him as it was. But the person that threw the shoe was probably like meaning something much deeper than how he accepted that.
It's impossible for a Western person to understand.
Yeah.
Literally impossible. I mean, a lot of it literally has to do with like having paved streets, because you would step in shit, all types of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so like, that's why foot washing was such a major tradition in Christianity in the early church. But in the Eastern world, man, like your feet and the sandals of your feet, that's why John the Baptist is saying, I can't untie his sandals. That means John is saying the lowest that Jesus could put himself, he's above us. That's what he's saying. So I'm not even worthy to get to the lowest part of where Jesus is. That's what he's trying to say. So
in his earthly state, which is the lowest.
Right. So, but you're in the underworld beneath our feet, bro.
But you want to be there.
But you're ruling it. But you're supposedly ruling, and even that Jesus took it away from you. Just give me that shit, nigga. You know what this is? That's what she always say when the dude's gonna rob you. You know what this is? I said, bro, go through my pockets, nigga. I got nothing. Go for it. Go, do it. Well, they did. They're like, what you doing over here? I'm like, what you think I'm doing over here, bro? They gave me a pass, for real.
That was before or after Candace showed up?
Huh? Nah, this is a completely different group of people.
Oh, no.
Nah, they shook me up and everything. Like,
Wow.
Yeah, true story. Moral of the story is, if you're broke, but you got away with words, you'd be okay.
You are very good with words.
The sky will weep with blood. The final stage of mankind now at hand, where claw will clash against steel. Unleash that lies within beyond the underworld awaits our call. Take up arms and bring an end to the age of the gods. You know, there's a passage in Isaiah that's really fascinating, and like when I think about like all the UAP shit, and then I think about Ragnarok and all the rest of it, like. I remember when we first started the channel, people were like...
Please don't forget the verse. I've been obsessing about Isaiah for the past
couple
days.
People were like, how can you say that this is mythology, but what you say is true? And at the time, I was like, well, that's easy. Jesus is a historical figure. Nobody believes that Thor incarnated in the world and walked around. Like, what are y'all talking about? Mm-hmm. But now it's like, nah, I believe all that shit. And I believe there's going to be a Ragnarok for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think the details are not going to work out the way...
Don't we call it Armageddon?
Well, not really, because Armageddon is more a human on human battle, whereas Ragnarok is the gods themselves are getting killed.
Armageddon is human on human?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean,
that's not what we were taught.
They came into the broad plain, and then the number of them was 200 million. I heard their number, all the people that's coming across the Euphrates River, because the Euphrates dried up, so those people were able to come across. Mm-hmm. That's Armageddon. Right, like demons don't care about the Euphrates drying up so that they can cross a river, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Armageddon is more of a...
Presumably.
But
we thought that you were fighting with God's army, and then the evil forces were fighting with all their people. You never thought that?
Well, I didn't come up in the same way as you. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, what's this Isaiah passage?
I don't know, like...
Well, sometimes I just assume that we had the same stuff, but I mean, because we both came up in a Pentecostal background.
Yeah, but this is the verse I was talking about, though. In that day, the Lord will punish the host of heaven above and the kings of the earth below. Mm-hmm. So the term host is a military term. You see, like Lord of hosts. Yep. The literal English translation would be the Lord of armies. Mm-hmm. So... in Isaiah 24, it says, God is going to punish the armies of heaven in heaven and the kings of earth on the earth. Because the kings of the earth are linked to the armies in heaven. Like there's a prince of Persia, a prince of Greece, etc., etc. Yep. And that passage is saying in Isaiah 24, at the end of all this, the Lord is going to punish the gods and the people that followed them. And it's right there. So I'm like, yes, Ragnarok is absolutely going to happen for sure.
Do you think that's the ones that followed him, or do you think that that's like the kings that represented them on the earth?
Well, I mean, the Bible is always representational in its model, right? So Adam represents one group of humanity. Jesus represents another group of humanity. Obviously, the father represents his household, and the king represents his subjects. So, so-and-so did evil in the sight of the Lord, and all Israel with him, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. So it's called federalism is the technical term, theologically speaking, where one person is accounted not just as an archetype, but as a literal stand-in for the people he represents.
You called it what?
Not just as an archetype, but as a literal stand-in for the people that he represents. So it's more like a, the Olympics, where Michael
America.
Phelps wins, but then they say America won. Mm-hmm. Because Michael Phelps, in his being, in his person, represents every single American. So when he wins, there is a real sense in which we win as well. Mm-hmm. So that means that Michael Phelps is not just an archetype where you look at him and say, this is what an American is like, but that he actually did something in the physical world on our behalf for all of us. So
which one is the truest representation?
That's,
do you think?
that's federalism.
Which one's the most realist representation? Would you say it's the supernatural ones in the other realm, or are you saying that the human kings are, or the subjects that follow them?
Don't understand the question.
Maybe I'm
talking about federalism, where in the Bible, one person represents an entire group of people. So when it says hosts of heaven and heaven, it's talking about the demonic leaders and everybody on their team, and then the kings of the earth on the earth. It doesn't just mean he's going to punish the kings of the earth, but he's also going to punish everybody that follows him.
Are you putting them on the same team, the kings and the hosts? Or you put
there's only two teams, right?
Right.
So if God's going to punish them, that means they're both on the same team. Right? You have a prince of Persia, who's an angelic being, obviously.
Yep.
But you also have a literal prince of Persia at the time. Mm-hmm. So in the biblical worldview, the earthly leader has a spiritual component to him.
Who do you think is getting the bigger punishment? Maybe that's the question. Do you think it's the earthly king or the supernatural power behind?
The Bible doesn't say. Because the Bible doesn't use a term like supernatural. So the Bible doesn't have those distinctions, so I don't have those distinctions. All I know is they're going to get punished. Okay. I don't know who's going to, but it's fascinating because there is a recognition that there is an aerial, there are a race of people who are aerially oriented who are militant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay? So, the Vedic stuff gets crazy because in the Vedic literature, you literally have beings like in machines fighting each other in the sky.
You talking about
shooting at each other, the whole 9 yards, yeah.
Adi stuff?
Yeah. Hinduism. Literally, like,
really?
They're in the sky shooting at each other. Shit, like, I'm not kidding. Like, it's pretty crazy stuff.
When you first heard that, did you think, man, that's kind of crazy? Or did you have a spot for it where you were like, who knows? I would have been like, these people are crazy.
No, I don't. The reason my whole thing would be, why would you make something? How would you make something like that up in the first place? It'd be like a grown man talking about this giant ride he had with a unicorn. I mean, when people are seeing these UAPs, they're saying that these things are thousands and millions of years evolved ahead of us. Mm-hmm. So, if that's the case, we're much closer to the Stone Age than we would be to the people who built the Tic Tac machine.
That's true, yeah.
So for me, it's like, if we see it today, there's no reason they wouldn't be able to see it 2,000 years ago, mm-hmm. especially when you consider that there's no such thing as local realism, which means that going back 10,000 years ago doesn't really mean anything. But anyway, I really, really like the song. This one's like a 9.8 for me. I thought this song was crazy.
I knew when it was playing that it was going to be right up there for you.
This is one of those songs where, like, as a guitarist, especially that middle part when they were, like, doing that solo, going into the solo, that makes you say, I got to pick up my guitar. Like, and anytime I run into a dude that does that, it's got to at least be a 9.8. What'd you give it?
So, like, probably 2 years ago, I bought a violin. And it's been just kind of like sitting there. But we talked about going to the storage unit. And I was thinking, I'm going to grab that violin. I'm going to see if I can whatever. But anyway, when I heard this song, it made me want to.
Lost Hate, I
mean,
not
that's
see,
a lot of dedication.
I did not see your message on Patreon. I will check it after. By the way, if you're not a patron,
that must be recent.
Our Guns N' Roses catalog had to be pulled from YouTube. We almost lost the channel over Guns N' Roses. But we have found a way to put the Guns N' Roses stuff up there. So we've got one on there for free, right? And then the other ones.
At least it's supposed to be. It was a little bit hard to see.
Yeah. So if you want to check out Guns N' Roses,
just so you
check
guys
us out
know,
on Patreon.
I'm going to be uploading more of those for the patrons, but
Season 3 is coming.
take a look at them because I don't know how long they're going to be there. I think it's limited storage on Patreon. And so we're going to be in season 3. We're going to take off and do a lot of different things. And those things are probably going to be only able to upload to Patreon. Otherwise, they would get blocked. So definitely if you're interested in checking them out, check them out before it's gone.
Violin is very easy to learn. Not just being encouraging. 9.8. What did you get?
I think it's worthy of a 9.8.
Yeah, the guitar playing is crazy on that song, bro. Crazy in that song. Why is that lady covering? That's for Joe Biden in this bitch. We'll see you guys
Because I like
on the other side of the break.